I'm attracting people into my life that I see like struggling, and I'm like, oh my God, I could totally share this, and it would really be helpful. And these few past weeks, I haven't been able to help them. Like they aren't able to receive it, or
Hmm.
it's just like it's too far for them, or something. Like it's just not a good stepping point, or I haven't figured out how to reach them.
Why do you think that is?
I'm not sure. It's just been an interesting. I don't know yet.
I remember you talking about that a year or so ago, about wanting to reach people. Do you know what I mean? But then if you're too far ahead of them, you're talking about David Wolf. Do you remember? Like if David
Yeah.
Wolf can't just talk about regular raw food
Yeah.
anymore because he's so
Boring
beyond
for him.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. He's so beyond that.
Exactly. That's how I'm feeling. It's like when I meet people and they're having these conversations about this stuff that I know they could shift so easily, I can't really talk to them about it unless we're gonna move on it.
Right.
Like I can't find a. I mean, I could, but it feels like I either have to like ignore them, or or change the topic, or start moving on it. Like I can't
Huh.
just sit and chat about stuff that's totally not helping them and not helping me. In my opinion, it's not helping me in the moment. And it's like it's hard to just be there and just kind of try and be friendly
Right.
when they're talking about
Yeah.
stuff that I don't fully agree with and I know could be shifted.
You know, that's one of the
It's an
things I heard
interesting
today
thing.
was in my talk was that when part of it was payment, right? So when people start paying you money, like
Yeah.
we're talking about high value clients,
Yeah.
whatever the word might be, right? When they start paying you more, they are taking it more seriously. You're empowering them to take a bigger step because they realize that, oh, I'm putting out this much money, therefore it must be really valuable, and
Yeah.
and they're really not,
Take your time.
they're really investing in themselves moving forward. So if you're giving it away,
Mm-hmm.
part of it they're taking seriously, and part of it is like, well, what does he know? You know?
Yeah.
Because how
That makes
valuable can it
sense.
be if you're just chatting it
Talking
up?
about it, yeah.
And I mean, I understand because I do that too.
The what?
I understand because I do that too. And then people wind up, you know, moving back. And it's not guaranteed that because they put a bigger investment in that they're going to move forward. But
Yeah.
they will do definitely take it more seriously,
Definitely.
you know?
Yeah, that's true.
So maybe shifting out of just giving it away, and then you're going to attract people who are going to be serious about moving forward. Because maybe the people you're attracting, they're not as serious about moving forward as you are about helping them move forward. You know, maybe they're
Yeah.
comfortable being where they're at, or they're not uncomfortable enough to move from there.
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, it's been a really interesting thing. And it's like they're not close to it, but it's sometimes it's like the timing is off. You know, it's like
Yeah.
it's too late and they don't want to think about it or whatever, and it's just like
Right.
it's just not it doesn't feel like it's fitting. And
Huh.
sometimes it's also like it was with a lover, and so that's a difficult place
Different
to be
situation. Yeah.
with the money hole, that whole thing.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to go there.
It's interesting. So yeah, but yeah, it is interesting.
I thought, you know, if you just meet people and you're chatting with them, that would be very different than if you're, you know, have already built up a relationship with them, whether it be, you know, friends or whatever. That's a
Well,
different line.
when I first
Yeah.
moved to Vancouver, I had this super awesome thing where I met people and they were into it. It was like it was the easiest step to. It was like they wanted it and they got it and it was done. It took minutes to explain it because they already knew all that backstory.
Right.
Whereas these people that I'm talking to, they don't feel like they know the backstory. So
Oh.
there's this big space between. So I start to talk about something, they're like, yeah, but I don't agree with that part of it, like theoretically. So they don't get it. So
Right,
you have
right.
to stop and like, and by the time it's like it hasn't been
Moments
working.
passed.
Yeah, something's off.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was interesting when I first got to Vancouver. I met a few people like that, and I was like, wow, this is great. I'm really moving the energy, and I'm really helping people, really, like a lot. Like I can tell how much they've shifted because how much they've shifted. And
Right.
I live with a few of them, and they tell me how much
Right.
they've shifted and that they really appreciate the work that we did, and blah blah blah. And that was all for free, and I wanted to give it. It was fun. It was lovely. I felt like it was better than not doing anything,
Yeah.
than not being involved in this thing that I
Yeah.
love. Um, but then at some point I thought, you know, I should really start charging for this because I'm just kind of giving it away.
Hmm.
And then, so I started to put it out like, I'm not going to just give it away. And then I stopped having those conversations.
Huh.
And so I didn't do any more sessions. And so then after that happened, I was like, well, I'd like to still do sessions. So maybe I should just start giving it away again. Like, just offer it and see what happens. Or just kind of go with the flow and not be strict about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is what's happening.
So I wonder
So it's
what
interesting.
inside of you is shifted, like when you start charging for it, what changes inside of you that, because it's a reflection of often of what's inside of us is
Yeah.
being mirrored back to us. So what inside of you shifts when you start thinking about charging money for it?
Right. So if I was going to say, okay, I can see that this would be a really good fit for you, and I want to share it with you, and there's this like $150 in the way. I'm like, I'm like, nah. Because I don't know, I just don't want to stop you to have that experience. If you want to have that experience, I don't want you to stop because it's not available. But I don't want to have to share all this fun stuff that's valuable as can be and not be paid for it. And yeah, it's almost like maybe it's saying like, hey, if people aren't focused on it and aren't paying for it, maybe they're not gonna do the work to get up to speed to it. Or maybe you're attracting subpar clients because you're not fully allowing yourself to be full of it. Like it's, you know what I mean? It's like you're just not a good fit to you right now.
Yeah.
So that's why you're attracting people who aren't a good fit to the work you're doing. Not to say that that's happening all the time. There are some people who I feel like I'm talking to who I'm able to talk with, or that get it too. But so if I feel into that feeling of money, here's like, okay, I can see you have something that wants to be shifted, and I have something valuable that I can share with you, and I feel like it would really help you and be really good for you and helpful, and I'd love to give it to you. And here's this money thing. It's like, so I don't want to share it with you if it's just about the money, but I don't know, I need to take care of me too and make money and do fun stuff. Like that's so important. And I see this as being so valuable because as soon as you can shift something easily, you can do it with anything, and it's like a tool you can use for forever. And so it's so valuable to learn this skill of shifting emotions. It's like probably the most valuable thing ever, and I could charge like lots and lots and lots of money for it, and people would pay for it once they understand the value of it, for sure, right? Yeah. And so it's not really about paying for it. It's, I guess I just don't want people to be left out, and I can arrange certain things maybe and have free stuff available, and I know that there's lots of Abraham Hicks stuff for free online, and there's tons of people who are in tons of places that have stuff to share, and I'm not the only person available to work with people, and money is abundant, and if they're not allowing enough of it, that's something they can shift, however they can shift it. And so how do I feel now if I'm going to say, okay, I have this really great thing I can share with you, I can see you need it, it's really good for you, I think, and there's money in the way. It's like, okay, better.
I think you really touched on something, what part of what you just said, and that might take a little bit of already you've given people your time by sharing with them to get to the point where you realize there's a way that you can help them through whatever. So you've already given them a lot of value. You've already contributed towards their awareness of, there's something here I'd like to shift. And you can say, hey, you know what? Now, what I can think of is having some kind of a website. I got this great video on here you can download, or I have this great thing on here that you can look at, and then that's giving them something, in addition. And if you, then, and on the website, and if you feel like you want to take this further with me, then we can work together. If you feel like the timing is right for you, then we can work together on that. And this is, these are the, and just call me up and we'll talk about it. And it doesn't have to be right at that moment, right? But having something to give them, like something to give them for free to take them further into your world, would be really good because it's going to bridge that gap.
Yeah, lots of
Right?
cool stuff that they will give them insight into what I can offer them,
Yes.
and would take up less personal time of mine because it would
Yes.
be already done. And
Yeah.
it's just kind of a
Yeah.
generic, like,
Yeah.
this is what I can do.
Because those people who
general.
you're doing one-on-one are going to have to be, because there's only so much of shine to go around. Those have to be your highest value clients.
Yeah.
So if you're
Totally.
going to do a workshop, you can charge a lot less because there's more people in a workshop, right? So you're going to have it spread over a number of people. If you're going to do, what do you call those things, like a DVD program or something that they download, you don't have to charge as much because you're not giving yourself away. But when you're doing one-on-one clients, you're giving your time, and that's very valuable.
Yeah. So let me. I want to keep going with that feeling
Okay.
because that's how I feel like I've cleared something.
Yeah,
Or cleaned
okay.
it up to the point of like fullness is when I feel like I'm aligned with it.
Yeah.
And right now I probably feel like medium about it.
Okay.
So I'd love to just finish
Okay.
with that. And then, so how do I feel? I have something of value to offer you, and you want something to shift, and I can see it'll help, and it'll be very valuable, and I totally want to share it with you. But I don't want to give it to you for free because it feels like my time is valuable, and I want to give it, but in a way that's exchange, that's nice, that feels like a good exchange. And I also want you to feel, yeah, like it's valuable, and that you're giving something and you're receiving something for what you're giving, because that's a nice feeling of exchange. It's like, like, it's a beautiful thing to have that flow. For me too, when I'm giving like when I buy something from someone, it's really nice. So I want to give something to you, and you want something, and it's nice to share with you. I want to give it to you, but only if it's in that flow of abundance and exchange. It feels really good because I want to stay in that place of like overflowing just abundance, and it's just necessary right now to have this medium of money to exchange because it's just fun and it works for us in this right now, and it's great, and I love it. So I really want to do that more, have more, abundance flowing through, and through that I can maybe reach more people and all that stuff. But I'll also just be happier and more fun and playful, and it'll be a better thing for me, better feeling to have way more money and more flow going through. Okay, so
Able to go places and do things and contribute to other people's, stuff.
So I'm just gonna make sure that I'm like cleaned it up enough. So I've seen person, issue, I have something to give and share, and I think it can be valuable. It's really, if you don't want to share it with you, how does it feel to have the money? It's like, I don't want you to stop because you don't have money. That's where I'm at. And it's like, okay, so I don't want you to not do it because of the money or to be put off by the money. So maybe that's my thing. Maybe I have an issue with that sometimes because it stops me from doing things, but not everybody does. Lots of people have lots of money, so it doesn't have to stop them, and I can attract people who have lots of money. And even though I haven't allowed as much abundance as maybe I want these past few years, it's still available, and I can do it, and there's enough going around that I know I could access it at some point if I wanted to. That's not really helping. I'm kind of feeling bad. So how do I feel about the money in between? It's like, I don't want you to not have it because of money. But I guess you're okay to not have it. If there's not the flow, and it's not in the flow, and you don't have enough money, then maybe it's not the right time for you. And there are some free things that I could share with you, like videos and whatnot, and that's great. So there are resources that I can give you that could help you move through that. And I could also decide to give you a free session if that felt good for me, if it's like what I really tuned into and was allowing and felt really good. Or there's other exchanges that could happen, like energy exchanges or whatever of different things. So that's totally possible. And so opening people's eyes to like, there's other forms of abundance than just money too, which is nice. So I'm at this offering, and I want to share with you, and it's good for you. So there's money in the way. It's like, it's not that big of a deal to charge the money because they have it, or they have something to offer, or they have some kind of gift to share. I feel like if I tune into that abundance and feel like I have worth money for me to share, it's like I'm worth it, and I have something of value, then I'll share with people who have money, like, or something that I want. The universe will line it up and find people who have that money, have that exchange that I want. Um, okay, so then I have I have this thing I want to share with you, and you have something that you want to shift, and I can see it'll be helpful, and I want to give it to you. There's money in the way. It's no problem. It feels done. Like, I have enough, you have enough, it's fine. We're just exchanging. It's just like a happy, like, ooh, here you go. And it's just fine, because we're both feeling abundant, and there's no worries or rush about the money. It's just like, just no big deal. And it's just nice to have more than enough on both ends. And it's nice to share something that feels like it's probably valuable to the point of being ridiculous in terms of the value. Like, it's not like I'm sharing things that are sort of good. It's like, this is like the top quality stuff I can think of ever. It's so important and so valuable, and so few people are learning it yet. And it's like, so it's really valuable and really amazing, and I can't wait to like share it with more people, and I can see the abundance that it can create for people and generate. So I'm not worried about the value of it not being there for them. So I can tell they're gonna have it. Hmm. I have this thing. Yeah. You want something I can see from money. Yeah. Feel clear about it. It's like, okay. Yeah, I could just say this is my thing, and I want to charge this much, and